Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, the recovering monogamous stitcher. I'm back with video number 4. Today is October 13th, 2022, and I'm trying to come back every 2 weeks. First of all, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by, and you're very welcome here. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. That means that you found something of value in the previous videos, and it's I'm starting to recognize names in the comments too, so I'm feeling like we're getting a community going, and that makes me feel really great. I have to thank some other Flosstubers for the shout outs that they've given my channel. It's just they've been so welcoming. Saltbox Stitcher Carol and Brenda and the Serial Starter, Brenda and Laura. They're like my heroes, and so that was really thrilling. Once Upon a Stitch, Lori, thanks so much, Lori. The Paisley Stitcher, Grace. Grace is, I think we have the same number of videos up, so we're kind of in the same class. North Island Stitcher, Nicole, she's from New Zealand. She's wonderful. If you haven't seen her channel, you need to go stop by. She stitches Hades. I would never dare. So she does some wonderful stuff, so check her out. Sarah's Stitchy Spot, Sarah. It's so nice to get to know Sarah. The SABLE Stitchers, Linnie and Roberta, thank you so much. And if you heard about my channel from some other Flosstuber and I didn't mention them, please let me know. I may not have known that they did that, and I would love to be able to thank them publicly too, so thank you. Last video, I had been asked to do some beginning stitcher information videos, and I have found some really great beginner resources that are out there already available, so I'm going to put those in the information below this video, and I won't be filming my own beginning stitcher things because there are lots of resources out there, but I will give you a list in the drop-down box. I was asked about my lighting, what kind of lighting do I use when I stitch, and I have a Bright Tech lamp and magnifier. I got it on Amazon. When I got it, I know it was under $100, it was 90 something, and I checked it the other day and it's $119 now, so that happens. But there are lots of choices on Amazon for lighting and magnification, so I'm sure you can find something in your price range if you're looking for one. The Central KY Stitchers met. We had 4 stitchers. It was wonderful to get to know some local people, and plans are to continue meeting, and when I'm in Florida they will continue meeting, and the Facebook group is going well. There are lots of I've heard from about 3 people who, after they had missed our meetup, they got signed up on the Facebook page, so they'll know when the meetups are going to be. So we're going to have a nice little group going here in Central Kentucky, and I'm appreciative of that. Okay, we'll start with FFOs, fully finished. I have posted this on Instagram already, but this is what remains. Blackbird Designs. You saw it fully stitched, but now it's framed. I had it framed at Hobby Lobby. What remains? The next fully finished is Blackbird by Blackbird Designs. This is part of the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour set of 6, and I like how this turned out. I love this frame. This again was framed at Hobby Lobby. Okay, another fully finished is the Bird Crush Club. This is from Lindy Stitches, Large-Eared Owl. No, not large-eared, long-eared. Long-eared. And there's mine. I have 12 white frames like this, so all of them are going to be framed in the exact same frame. And I've got my wall space selected, and Mr. Nabler and I started getting them up the other day, and we had a perfect plan for having them all perfectly lined up and straight and even, and then we discovered that the little hooks on the back exactly consistent among the frames, so they don't hang right yet. So I'm not going to take a picture of it yet because we have some fiddling around to do with that to make it look nice. Okay, and I have a finished object, not fully finished, but finished. The Christmas Time Sal from Fat Quarter Shop. Cute. Now I have to figure out how I'm going to finish it. I'm getting a lot of finishing things piled up in here I've got to get going on. I don't like finishing. So I think stitchers are either like to finish or they don't like to finish, and I'm among the do not like finishing. Okay, and I mentioned to Hobby Lobby, and I take my pieces to Hobby Lobby for framing. And after I praised them so much in one of my previous videos, this trip has not been quite so satisfactory. When I went in, my person I normally work with was not there, and there was a young man there who was new. I should have known right then. I'll come back when she's here. But I didn't, and so I don't know how he mismeasured, but he mismeasured. So when I took the two that are finished back to be put in the frames, I brought the other two not laced, but just clipped to the foam core so I could show them this border isn't right. I asked for a 1/2 inch all the way around reveal, and it's not right, it's not even. And then a different person waited on me, again, not my normal person I work with. And he's, oh, I can make it work. I can do spacers and I'll make it work. I'll even it out and it'll be fine. Okay, so I took them home, I laced them. No. So, look at the difference. Here's the new foam core. When I went back, she was there and she corrected it. You see, it's like off by a total of 1/8 of an inch. This will be divided top and bottom. So that one, so now I have to undo the lacing and relace on the new foam core. So I'm not happy about that because I hate lacing. I feel like I need 3 hands. Okay, and this one also was not right. And behind it is the foam core that the girl cut for me that is correct. I wanted a 1/2 inch reveal. Well, by the time that was in that frame, it was almost biting those stitches. There was no 1/2 inch reveal. So anyway, she's recut it. So that's this weekend's fun time lacing project. Okay, now what did I do the last 2 weeks? My stitching, sorry, I have to bend down and reach. Elizabeth Isles, I got 4 stitching days on Elizabeth Isles. This, of course, was the birthday start for Laura, the serial starter. And I told you before, I'm not doing the entire pattern. I'm doing the center across. I've made quite a bit of progress on that bird. And I'm going to finish it into a drum. So that's where that is. 4 days, and this is my focus piece, so at least 7 days in the month. So I have a few more days to work on it this month. And then it continues to be my focus piece until it is done. The other piece I worked on was, okay, the large-eared owl and the Christmas Sal, and then I started, it's a new start in the Winds of Autumn, Mighty Acorn. Mighty Acorn, I got a start on that. And it calls for gentle art. So I got going on the border a bit. Calls for gentle art. I didn't have all of them. I had some of them partial because they were left from other projects. So I took my DMC conversion chart that I found online, and it told me that there were 3 colors in the gentle art that matched with DMC 860 something. Well, that's not going to work. So I'll show you in my haul. I ordered more of the gentle art so that I'm not trying to use a DMC to represent 3 different colors in this. Okay, so that's the stitching I've done in the last 2 weeks. My plans for the rest of the month, the next coming 2 weeks in my stitching, I'll spend a minimum of 3 days on my red sampler, which is Helen Schnorr from JBW Designs. I'll spend more time on Halloween Quaker from Leela Studio. Normally in a month that has a 31, I would stitch it on the 13th and 31st, but I'm going to give it more time this month. And then again, I'll go back to my focus, Elizabeth Isles, and if there are any other days left over, I'll be working on some of those samplers that I started in Sampler September. None of them are done. So I've got Rosa Sugars is going, Redbird Sampler's going. Didn't dig all those pieces out, so I don't remember what that is. So those are my plans. And I do have haul. And I told you before, I usually call it kidding because I'm normally kidding, but this really counts as haul. So, sorry, I have to do a deep dive here. First is my Fabric of the Month Club from Stitch Me. And this is called Sand Dollar, 40 count linen. I should take it out. Let me just take it out of the paper. I can see where it is. I'll take it out. Sorry, I didn't do that ahead of time. So, Sand Dollar. Pretty nice. That's about what it looks like. Okay. So that's the first part of the haul. Also, Kitten Stitcher has an exclusive from Hands On Designs, Margaret Doyle. So I got that. Very happy to get that sweet little thing. And she sent a sticker. I love it. Okay, that's Margaret Doyle. Let's see, I had a couple orders from Fat Quarter Shop. I ordered the antiquing spray and I'm going to experiment with that. There was a comment of someone who was concerned about what the ingredients are in this. And there are no ingredients listed on this, so I don't know what the ingredients are. It does says, warning, do not consume, so okay, I won't consume it. But it comes from Primitive Gatherings, Lisa Bonjean, Fat Quarter Shop has used it. A lot of people have used it, so I'm thinking I don't need to be too worried about it, but I will experiment before I put anything on my finished piece. And I may, even if I don't like this effect, I'll go back to coffee tea dye or something. Okay. And so with that order, I'm not going to pay postage and just have one thing come. So I went to my wish list and picked out a pattern. Regina Heibel from Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And when I got my Stitch Me fabric, I decided, okay, this is getting kitted up. I think this looks like a pretty good color. It's a little grayish. So I'm going to be doing this on my Stitch Me fabric. So it's not such a haul anyway. It's going to be used, and I've got DMCs in my bag. Nice light colors. This bag I made, and let's see, it has the nice vinyl on it, and it has Soft and Stable from Annie in the inside. The fabric is something I cannibalized a quilt kit. I had gotten a quilt kit to make a quilt for granddaughter, and she grew up before I got that quilt done. I thought, oh, this is kind of too kiddish. I'm not going to make that. So I took it all apart. I pulled out the fabrics, and I've been using them to make project bags and zippered bags and nice coordinating colors. So Regina Heibel is kitted up. Fabric, floss, pattern, bag, ta-da. Happy with that. Then I did another Fat Quarter Shop order. Let me get this stuff out of here. I had to order the Weeks Dye Works threads for my Mighty Acorn, so I got those. And again, you're not going to just get a few threads and pay postage. So on their flash sale, they had 28 count linen. I think it's called just linen is what it's called. and it was such a good deal. So I got this. This is haul, definitely haul, because I don't know specifically what I'm going to use it on, but it was a great deal. And then also, one of the Central KY Stitchers had brought her Nurge frame with a project on it, and I was impressed with that. So I ordered the medium one, and I'm going to use it on Mighty Acorn. And I like hoops. This is my Morgan hoop, which I'm very satisfied with. I like it. It has a groove in it. See the groove? And then there's the groove on the outer ring. And so it holds the fabric nicely. I like that. But what I don't like about the round is that you can't get very close into a corner, and I don't like to waste fabric. So I think this rectangular shape of the Nurge is going to be helpful for me to be able to scoot closer into a corner and be able to preserve more of my fabric for other projects. So I'm looking forward to using that. Okay, that's my haul. I've been kitting up another one. Red Deer Sampler GGR. I've seen this behind Carol Saltbox Stitcher's head in every one of her videos. And first I saw it and thought, oh, that's cute. That's kind of quirky. But then as I kept seeing it, I'd be staring at it and go, I have to stitch that. So I've got it kitted up now. I have the most used colors I got in the actual overdyes. And this fabric, I could not find the Confederate gray. It calls for Confederate gray, but this is a gray linen, and so I'm going with it. And I have the Gentle Art colors. I had some of the other colors left from other projects, so I have these colors left from other projects. And then I filled out the rest of it, which are relatively small spaces, with DMCs. So this one is kitted, ready to go, and I'm anxious to get going on it. I don't know when. I've got so many things, so many samplers going. Oh, okay, I can rest there. Okay, so those are kitted up. My haul. We're to the quilt. So, this quilt is a sampler quilt. It's called The Farmer's Wife. It contains 111 blocks. They finish at 6 inches square. It's a queen size, 83 inch wide and 103 inches long. So when they're set on point, it's constructed in diagonal rows, not straight across rows. You have to put your rows on diagonal. So I did that. And this quilt comes from this book called The Farmer's Wife Sampler Quilt, written by Lori Hurd. It was published in 2009. The premise of this book is that in 1922, a magazine called The Farmer's Wife put a question out for its subscribers. And let me read the question so that I don't misread it. If you had a daughter of marriageable age, would you, in light of your own experience, have her marry a farmer? And the magazine had 750,000 subscribers, and they received 7,000 letters in answer to that. So Lori Hurd took, in her estimation, the 111 best responses, and then assigned a quilt block that went with that response. That was her decision. So the quilt was done in very traditional, older colors, and as you can see, I went my own way. I guess I was kind of tired of the dark colors that I had been sewing so much in. When I started quilting, I wanted everything to look like it was 200 years old, I guess, and so everything was dark. So I wanted these bright colors. I had a fat quarter bundle of Riley Blake fabric. I don't remember the name of the quilt, of the collection, and I pulled colors from my stash that went with it. and constructed the 111 blocks, and I have the, I made the sashing entirely white so it didn't break up the design of the blocks, and my setting triangles are entirely white. So anyway, I sewed this in 2012 and 2013, and I know that because I made notes in here when I did a block. I for some reason I put the date I started the block, and some, you know, so there's stuff July 2013 and June 2012 or whatever. So I was doing this the same year. 2012 was when I did the house quilt. So I was sewing like crazy on small stuff. So I did a video of close-up to show the blocks, just panning across and working my way down. So if you want a closer look, more detail on the quilt, you're welcome to hang around for a few minutes. It's about 3 or 4 minutes long, and you can see it closer up. And I think that's all I have for you today. I've gone through my whole list. So thanks so much for stopping by. We'll go with the shorter one this time, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks. Bye-bye.